How would I describe the Journal of the Two Sisters? Let's see. Cute, funny, interesting, cute, well written, cute, surprisingly deep, intriguing, and, oh yeah, it's really cute, too. So for those of you who might have missed it, Journal of the Two Sisters is a companion book to MLP written by the show's very own Amy Keating Rogers, chronicling the adventures of Celestia and Luna in their younger years, and it is absolutely fantastic. Unlike any of the other books that have been written for the show, Journal of the Two Sisters doesn't so much as add to the show's canon more than it's actually a part of the show. As in, it is actually this book that Twilight is reading right here. You are reading a real-life version of a book that exists in a fictional universe. In that sense, it's a lot like J.K. Rowling's Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which contains scribbling in the margins by Ron Weasley, as well as a big sticker on the front reading Property of Harry Potter. This sort of in-universe fiction is really quite fascinating, and I really want to see more books written like this. But let's talk about Journal of the Two Sisters specifically. It is a group diary written by Celestia and Luna detailing their lives as princesses of Equestria. And right from page 1, the book just drowns you in characterization. Up until now, we never really knew much about what Celestia and Luna were like back in the days before Nightmare Noon, and suddenly being given such a vivid display of their personalities is wonderful. Luna is fun-loving and childish, and Celestia was surprisingly a lot like Twilight back in the day. And on the day of their coronation, Celestia writes that they see themselves not as rulers over Equestria, but instead as guardians. And there is something that I just really like about that line. If there was ever a perfect sentence to describe the role that Celestia plays, not only in the book, but in the entire show as well, this would be it. The rest of the book is in a largely episodic format, describing a multitude of adventures that the princesses get into. Building their castle, meeting with other rulers, zebras, griffins, dragons, it's all there. And these stories are just so adorable and hilarious. My favorite would have to be Princess Platinum acting like Diamond Tiara, and then Luna having none of it. But it's also during all these little stories that the characterization of the two sisters really begins to shine. Each story is written twice, one from each of their perspectives, and comparing and contrasting the way they react and feel about the same situation serves as an ingenious and incredibly effective method for fleshing out their personalities. And these stories add to more than just the princesses' personalities, they also add so much to the lore surrounding Equestria. For example, we've all heard Starswirl the Bearded's name dropped several times in the show, but what exactly did he even do? Well, now we know. And did you ever wonder how the sun and moon were raised and lowered before it was done by Celestia and Luna? The answer is surprisingly dark, actually, and for every headcanon that the book mercilessly obliterates, it throws us a bone for even more headcanons. Did you think that Celestia and Luna were once regular ponies but then ascended to alicorns? Sorry, but it seems that they were almost certainly born alicorns. But hey, did you know that Starswirl the Bearded frequently time-traveled to the show's present? Starswirl was around somewhere during many of the major events of the show. This opens the floodgates to all sorts of new headcanons. Where is Starswirl? Is that Starswirl? Is that Starswirl? Is that Starswirl? Is that Starswirl? Who knows? Sadly, the book ends before reaching the whole Nightmare Moon affair, and really, that's probably for the best. Just reading through the book knowing that it will happen later is heartbreaking enough. I don't think I could handle reading all the way through it. But yeah, just keep this scene in the back of your mind while you read. It adds a nice touch of bittersweetness to every little bonding moment in the book. But something that isn't heartbreakingly tragic about this book is the way it's presented. Let me just say, it has to be one of the prettiest looking books I've seen. Every page is filled with beautiful colors, beautiful illustrations, and enough stars and twinkles everywhere to keep even the most ADD children occupied. All in all, despite how short it is, Journal of the Two Sisters is filled with a frankly staggering amount of depth. There is something for everyone. For the children and the target demographic, there is a fun and whimsy in all the stories, and the writing style is so jam-packed with personality that the book just begs to be read out loud. And that's exactly how a good children's book should be. And for the bronies who like to overanalyze everything and look for super deep hidden meanings where there probably actually is none, the book is chock full of lore for all of us to munch on. Not to mention, the book is just overall fun to read. And if you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend doing so. Honestly, the only complaint I can really have about it is that the second half of the book, which is the journal the main six wrote throughout season 4, isn't available on the Kindle edition. So unfortunately, until I get my hands on a physical copy, I can't tell you what I thought of it. Seriously, Amazon, I thought you were trying to discourage buying physical books and shamelessly promote the Kindle. Instead, you're forcing me to support physical publishers. You guys are terrible at unethical business. Get some lessons from Walmart or something.